Thanks for staying with us. So before we do Edo State, we'll start with Lagos State. Last week, the Lagos State government revoked the 2018 land use charge. This was announced by the Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Rabiu Olowo. Also, the government reverted to the pre-2018 land use charges, and the charges for 2017, 2018, and 2019 have been waived. According to him, the review is to reduce the financial pressure on Lagosians relating to land use. We have with us the Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Rabiu Olowo. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you very much for having me this morning on your program. Good morning.
Yes. Now, so the key word there is revoked, because quite a lot of Lagosians have been worried that revoked meaning cancelled, or do you mean suspension, that it will be, that at some point it will be returned? Could you please clarify so we are clear on what the state's position is on this land use charge?
So thank you very much. The actual wording is that the 2018 land use charge law has been repealed.
Okay.
So what that means is that there's been a review of the law, there's been some updates to the law, and a new law has passed through all the legal framework. The Lagos State Executive Council, the Lagos State House of Assembly, and a bill for the adjustment or for the update has been passed and has been assented to. And there is a new law which is effective, and that will be the new order of the day. So it's not temporary, it's something that has come to stay.
Okay, so sir, I wanted to ask you, obviously there must be reasons for this action, and people are wondering what government should be a continuum. What could have caused the current administration to review what was in place before?
Absolutely. So government is a continuum. You see, we consider the land use charge reform very necessary, at this time to accommodate the agitations of Lagosians and to further reduce the financial pressure on citizens as it relates to land use charge. If you recall, in 2018, there were a lot of agitation, there were a lot of public outcry from citizens alike, owner-occupiers, of residential property, industrialists, owners of commercial properties, etc., towards the 2018 law when it was enacted. That 2018 law was very controversial because, a few things were done that led to a sporadic increase in what was payable by property owners to over like 400%. It was a big deal at that time, and there were a lot of agitation, there were a lot of pushback, even from the organized private sector. So when we came in, I think one of the earliest assignments that I had as Commissioner for Finance, the governor, told me that you need to go and look at this law. And, even myself, anytime I get the chance to meet with the organized private sector, one of the most common questions I get is, when are you going to review this? So as a listening government, that was what made us to actually give it a focus to go and look at this law. And truly so, there were a lot of improvement opportunities, and that's exactly what we have done. So what we have done isn't just a rate reduction, even though the rate reduction, the rate reduction is the most appealing or the most exciting because that's to do with money, but it's just much more than that. So if you give me a chance, I can, actually give you some more insight into the key takeaways from the law review.
Okay, would appreciate that. One of the major reasons I believe for the 2018 amendment of the Land Use Act was because, to get more revenue from, properties residents in Lagos, and that alone, in repealing this act, is something that I consider a big loss because, we are waiving those revenue and the number of years that, it has piled up. Why is that? Why are you looking at, leaving that much amount of money that would help the state?
So that's a very good question. So when it comes to fiscal policies or developmental economics, the truth is that it's not about money. It's not about revenue. It's about the people. These are dots that are connected. At the end of the day, it's about the people. It's not about revenue. It's not about money. And that's why, as a people-centric government, you need to really understand what's the purpose of government in the first place. And that's why we are doing this at this time. We believe that if we are able to expand the net, if we're able to capture more properties, if you're able to set taxes or rates at the right pricing, at the right rates, the people will be happy for it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, there will be, a lot of, development.
Right.
In the land. Yeah.
All right. Some people say, some of your critics have said that this is a Greek gift because, yes, you win some, you lose some. So in their own view, they're saying, you've given us this gift, but there's a strong possibility that Lagos State will be sending us some kind of charge in future, saying we should pay some other charges. Should we be expecting other taxes that the Lagos State government will be imposing on the people?
The land use charge consolidates all properties and land-based rates and charges into a single property tax. It has consolidated the land rate, which you call the ground rent, the tenement rate, and the neighborhood improvement charge. So there will be no other taxes within this category that will be imposed, because this is a consolidation of all land-based and property-based rates or charges or taxes into a single property charge.
Right. Okay, so you've reiterated about this government being a very listening government and people-oriented. But how about the impact of the policies on foreign investment that we're expecting, in that it looks as if we're an unstable government, we cannot hold a policy for a long time. People complained in 2018 when the policy was changed. They gave reasons for why they did it, and now it is changed again. What would assure Nigerians that in the next 3 years, another government will come in and say, I am people-oriented, I'm listening to the people, I'm changing it again? How would the foreign investors that were expecting to come and invest in Nigeria take such seemingly inconsistent policies? How would they take it?
So I don't think it's fair to say, to use inconsistency, because just like you said correctly, government is a continuum. If a new government comes in and sees an improvement opportunity, we have to keep improving until we get there. And that's exactly what's happened. So a law was, enacted in 2018. There were a lot of agitation. There were a lot of public outcry, from the people whom we swore to serve. I think at that point, there's a real need for government to go back as a listening government, yes, to actually understand the criticality or the, issues, the pain points of the people. And that's exactly what we have done. So there's nothing about, inconsistency there. It's about continuous improvement. It's about, finding the need to do, more, good things for the people that we sought to serve.
Sir, Morai had asked that, Lagosians are thinking that there'll be backdoor ways of getting this money that is given, they consider a Greek gift. One of such is that the former act, had brought under it the waste management bill, such that people did not have to, that's where they would generate money for the Visionscape plan that they had at the time. Now that is no longer part of it, how is the bill for waste management going to be? And areas like mine, it still never work. We'll never get waste management there yet.
There's a lot of strategic review within the waste management arm, and that is very separate from the land use or property-based, side of things. There's a lot of strategic review in that area. I think Loma is coming up with even more efficient ways of actually, making disposal of property. Of waste. I think about 2 or 3 months ago, they came up with, disposal materials in terms of how to separate your waste, either organic waste, waste from your kitchen, glasses, and all of that. Those are the new concept that is being done in other geographies or other countries. And those are the beginning, part of the reform in the waste management area. But it is separate from the land use charge, because land use charge is just on land-based and property-based rates and taxes.
Okay, so how much is Lagos State losing in quotes on this? How much exactly are you saving the people from expending?
So the word is, how much are we saving the people? We are not losing any money, because just like I said, government or any fiscal policy implementation is about the people. We have come up with a 48% reduction in the annual charge rate. A property that is paying, let's say, 27,000 naira, going forward will begin to pay 14,000 naira. So meaning that there is more money back to the society. And what that does in economics is that your disposable income goes up, your consumption goes up, aggregate demands goes up. And that's how the economy is stimulated. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. The people are happy, the government is happy, because the economy will be working. So it's giving money back to the society to stimulate the economy. I think one more interesting part of this reform is the agricultural sector. So one of the ways of encouraging or incentivizing this sector is that agricultural land, the rate has been reduced by 87%. Why are we doing this? We want more and more people to be encouraged to go into this sector. So for food security, even for development, ensuring that in Lagos we have our own strategy in terms of improving our agricultural produce, and those are the ways that government policy actually stimulates some of these issues.
Okay. I'm also happy that consideration was given to people in their 60s that are retired, and it's a good one. And I also want to highlight that in addition to their Greek policy. But I want to ask, we have a new policy that was passed down from the federal government, that is a stamp duty charge on tenants that they are going to pay for every time they are renewing their rent or renting a new house. How is Lagos, how does that influence this? What's the relationship with that? And do you want to educate us more about it? Does this new law waive that for Lagosians? We'll be happy to have that information. And how do we go about it?
This new law, doesn't waive that for Lagosian. And in fact, it's not a new law. It's just something that, enforcement is much more obvious around. So for any receipt, for any acknowledgement of business dealings or transaction, there has always been a law for the payment of stamp duties. Just that recognition and and enforcement is much more obvious today. So whether it's rent, whether it's any kind of business dealing whereby there is acknowledgement, there is received, payment of stamp duty is applicable. Even though I agree with you, there are a lot of divergent views from what the federal government through the FIRS has come up with in terms of the implementation of stamp duty, but that's a different topic. But our position, like every other state, is to follow what the Constitution has said, and even, of course, the stamp duty law that says that transaction between individuals and individuals is collectible by states, while transaction between B2B, business to business, or corporate to corporate is collectible by the federal institutions such as the FIRS or the federal government or any other federal government.
We have to wrap up, sir. We have to wrap up. So what you're telling us in essence is that if anybody comes to our gate, knocking on our door, asking for us to pay this land use charge, we should tell them the government has repealed it and refused to pay. And if they insist, we can report to you. Is that correct? Can we report?
What is happening now is that there is a 2020 law. Okay. There is a new law, 2020 law, that was signed by Mr. Governor, that has reduced the rate by 48%. Okay. That's given pensioner an enlarged scope to.
Okay, it's clearer now.
From private organizations. Right? There's been a reintroduction of 15% early payment discount. Right. Mr. Governor has also approved an additional 10% COVID incentive early payment discount. So altogether, there is about 25% early payment discount. Okay. So meaning that once you receive your bill, you will see all those penalty waivers, you will see the reduction in rates. And my message to Lagosians this morning is to take advantage of this change, especially the rate reduction and of course the early payment discount. Immediately they get their bills, they should go and pay in order to take full advantage of these changes.
Right.
And also to also inform Lagosians, we now have a fit for purpose call center whereby they can call in, make inquiries, ask for help, ask for guidance and direction. And the number is simple.
Okay, we'll send the numbers on our social media pages, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. We speak with the Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Rabiu Olowo. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
You can watch Your View on TVC every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Nigerian time on DSTV channel 418, GOTV channel 27 and channel 47, StarTimes channel 121 and channel 307, Play TV channel 801 and channel 190, UHF 49, Sky channel 515 for UK viewers. Watch live on Facebook at TVC Connect and on our website tvcentertainment.tv/livestream.